Hi everybody, I am popular and unfunny Swedish YouTube personality TPZP. And how about the Jews? That was my awful but relevant dig at a piece of shit on the internet.
If I weren't laughing hard enough, I would have replied as fucking what's his face from The Room.
Time of myself.
Oh.
I did not hit her high mark.
I did not say it. I did not call him an N-word. Oh, hi, Mark.
He's a very handsome man, and he has good friends, and maybe he's a vampire.
Maybe a vampire. We'll see.
I can't wait for that. But yeah,
Disaster Artist looks fucking great.
It really does.
Yes. And yeah, I said it once, but I'll say it again. Fuck PewDiePie. Anyway, let's move on. There's a new Hellboy picture out, and David Harbour looks fucking rad. I'm Connor McGraw. Welcome to the Phantom Zone.
I'm Marlon Haro. Hey, Alan.
Bus driver was drunk.
Okay. Thanks.
That was a Silent Hill Homecoming reference. No, Downpour reference.
Doesn't help Andrew Littler know the difference between our voices, but thanks.
He can go fuck himself again.
No, stop that. Seriously. Cut that shit out.
I'm the only one allowed to say that to him. Fuck yourself, Andrew Littler. Okay, alright. So we gotta talk about this, because I suggested it, and everybody...
We have a special guest.
I wouldn't say very special at this point. This is like the fourth time I've been on.
You're kind of
an
official new fifth member.
I'll take it. Yeah. Whatever. I thrive. I thrive on hearing my voice.
Yeah, you and Andy are like sharing the fifth slot right now.
Mm-hmm. We'll have to fight it out. Yes, it's Eric again. Hi, everybody.
I'm going to give you both a piece of these chicken bones that I'm eating right now.
But no, you split it in half. Like,
yeah. And I walk up to you and go, we're going to have crack tryouts.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit, my door is open, and my roommates can hear me screaming. Hang on 1 second.
How dare you?
I feel like Andy has an anger bubbling underneath the surface that I would be destroyed in minutes.
Probably. All right, so there's one photo...
He's like, what's his face from Ready to Rumble?
Yeah, so there's one photo that that was in the group, and if you're in the group, you've seen it. And then there was another one that was released. And I'm going to put that in the chat so we can look at it.
The staircase
Yeah,
one?
that's the black and white one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like the color one better. This other one looks like I don't know. It looks like something from like a weird B movie. But yeah.
Well, did you mention what we're even talking about?
Well, we kind of talked about it a little bit. So we were talking about the Hellboy reboot, starring David Harbour.
And a bunch of people on the internet got really got dirty diapers about it.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people got unnecessarily angry
because it's not Ron Perlman.
Well, the thing is, like, looking at that first picture that was released of, the color one of him looking nice and not even cherry red, like, he actually looks like a muted red. Like, I didn't see a huge difference other than the physique between Ron Perlman and this version of Hellboy.
It's almost like David Harbour is a younger, more physically fit guy.
Yeah.
Isn't
that amazing?
It's almost like David Harbour isn't a man who is 3 years shy of 70, who is probably running down on his career at this point, and maybe possibly doesn't want to do a whole lot of action roles, and maybe possibly the studio doesn't want to put an older guy in that kind of role. So probably everybody should shut the fuck up.
I'm shocked that Ron Perlman is that old. I didn't realize he was that old.
To be fair,
didn't they do that with Connery and Bond?
No, that's not what happened with... No. Okay. If we want to go into that, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah.
Ron Perlman was more than open to doing another one. I've told this story before. Legendary didn't want to give Guillermo del Toro $200 million.
There's also that.
They just didn't want to do it. He wanted to make a giant movie to finish out the franchise. So those are two things going against him. Oh, you want to make it for $200 million, and you want this to be the end. Like, this is the end of everything. No future Hellboy movies. No other installments, this is it.
Was Guillermo saying that?
No, but okay. If you go off of what he's said, he's always had a plan for 3 movies.
And a vision.
Yeah, and the third one would probably be Cronin and what's-his-face coming back, which I've never been for. My thing should be, for me, it's always been every movie should be different. Every single one. Different villain, different aesthetic even.
Hellboy 2 came out in 2008.
Yeah.
We are almost a decade away from it.
Yeah.
Well, to touch back on the whole budget thing, too, that was an issue Del Toro ran into with Hellboy 2, because I remember reading a New York Times article about the film, how in the, the troll market, the character that was helping the elven sister, hiding her, the guy who looked like his head was made out of a city, Del Toro's original plan was to actually have, miniaturized people walking around in that tiny city for a head, and the studio was like, how much is that going to cost? And he came back with whatever exorbitant sum, and they're like, no.
Yeah, and that movie cost $150 million to make.
And I guarantee it didn't make that back.
You know, I'm just going to say this. Hot take.
Oh, here it comes.
Guillermo would have made a better Hobbit movie than fucking Peter Jackson.
I think we all know that.
That's not a hot take. That's an accepted take.
Yeah, that's kind of a known...
To be fair, I don't know what the difference is.
Okay, it's very simple, actually. Peter Jackson did not want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying you don't know the difference between a hot take and an accepted take is?
Yes.
An accepted take is something that we all agree with.
Yeah, that's an accepted take is not a hotly contested opinion.
Okay, so a hot take is everything Andrew Lillard says?
Basically. If you want an example
that
of
is
what a hot take
it. You are out of Littler digs the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Very sorry, Andrew.
I'm the only one allowed to do them. Fuck you, Andrew Littler.
Yeah, acceptable take would be just, oh yeah, no, that makes sense. If you say that to anybody.
Empire Strikes Back is one of the greatest films of all time.
That's an acceptable take.
That's an acceptable take. Return of the Jedi is better.
What?
Slightly hot take.
That's
I'm not saying that's not my opinion.
Okay.
I like it better personally, but that's my opinion. I don't claim that it is.
Hot takes are people who hop on Twitter and go, The Force Awakens was just a New Hope and it sucks.
Yeah. Compared to, it draws a lot from New Hope, and that's fine. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's
But a hot take would be...
It's not having a dirty diaper, as I
said. A hot take would be... Val Kilmer is the best Batman. That's a hot take.
I actually thought that before I saw Batman Begins.
Before Ben Affleck, I actually thought that a little bit based off of just physique.
God, I didn't
just
even think
look.
that. I was like, it's still Michael Keaton.
I like the fact that he kind of looks like what I imagine Batman is looking, but that's beside the point. So, what were we talking about? No, we were talking about
Hellboy.
No, so we got into the Lord of the Rings thing. Peter Jackson didn't want to be there. He basically had to do the movie because there was nobody else that could do it. And
for some reason, Universal felt like it needed to be done.
Yeah, and I think that was Warner Brothers. I can't remember.
Universal Warner Brothers. I can't remember. It's definitely Warner Brothers. Never mind.
Yeah, and then, basically, Guillermo left because him and his family couldn't live in New Zealand for an extra year longer than they originally planned. Just because he wanted them to have a steady life in where he initially wanted to raise them.
And I'd like to believe he had some artistic integrity. It's like, this doesn't need to be 3 movies. What are people doing?
But he continues to put himself in these situations where he has to ask for more money than he should. Part of why at the Mountains of Madness? Is that the name of it?
At
the Mountains of Madness.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why that never happened is because he was asking for too much money. James Cameron was going to produce it. Yeah. He wanted a big star, and he wanted to make it again for $200 million, and that's fine. But and here's my problem with that: we know that Neil Blomkamp exists. And we know that Neil Blomkamp made District 9 for like $20 million or some bullshit like that. If I told you District 9 was made for $150 million, you would believe me.
Yeah.
I think with the Neil Blomkamp thing, though, he comes from the world of special effects, so he knows how to cut corners. That's my guess, at least.
If you watch his short films he's been doing, they
Especially
look gratuitously expensive.
Yeah, they do. They do. I've only watched like 2 of them, but
Alan, he has left that Halo short in the dust.
Are you talking about the Destiny ones?
No, I'm talking about his new original short films he's making that are bordering on like weird-ass sci-fi horror.
It's
just look up pictures of Zygote. Just pictures of Zygote. You don't even need to watch Zygote.
Nah.
Or I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was a short film where it was about, I think it was set in Vietnam.
Yes,
where
that's the one I watched.
river god cursed the soldiers, and like it was a farmer who had his hut burned down.
His family killed too.
His family killed and becomes like a deity of rage. And like there's entire like uncut sequence of like his flesh is stripped away slowly. Like he's just walking like blood vessels and bones at one point.
Well, just the
that sounds metal as fuck.
It is fucking rad.
There's a point where you see I think it's a Huey or it might be an Apache, some sort of helicopter being dismantled in the sky, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And it looks amazing. Like, it does not look like something that should be for free on YouTube. I mean, mind you, the whole premise of Oat Studio is like, hey, do you like this? You should donate to our, what is it? They have a variation.
Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe.
Something along
those lines. Go fuck yourself.
Got fucking Sigourney Weaver to show up for one of these fucking things.
Yeah. Because he's friends with her, so it was very easy for him.
Can I just say how mad I am at Ridley Scott?
No, because we're talking about Hellboy. We got to keep it on track somewhat. But yeah, so the point is, Guillermo del Toro, this was never going to happen. He was never going to make a third one. Which, as I think about it more, and the fact that he was never going to make another Hellboy, I'm more okay with this movie.
And it's Neil Marshall directing.
That's something else. Right? That's something else that these like, I'm just going to call them rampant complainers because that's at this point what y'all are. Mm-hmm. And Hunter, who's not here, made an excellent point. It's not Ron Perlman is the new Tim Curry was better.
Ugh.
I don't know about that.
Tim Curry was the only good thing about that.
And
TV
it's not
movie
necessarily it's not necessarily that the Tim Curry is better thing is an illegitimate complaint. It's that it's the mindset of, oh, this new thing is fucking frightening and enraging me, and I'm going to rail against it just because.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia, not for actual merit.
You're so butthurt that something has changed that you can't form a rational thought about it.
Yeah.
Well, and anyone who wants to complain, at least with the Tim Curry thing, first off, you didn't get to watch it when it was on TV originally, when it was airing. And at the time, even then when I was watching, I'm like, this is okay, I guess. Like, I mean, I'd read it at least twice by that point.
See, I saw that movie when I was really fucking little and didn't know exactly what I was watching, and it scared the shit out of me because I had no idea what. I skimming through channels with a friend, and we came across this clown, and it was mesmerizingly terrifying to a fucking 7-year-old.
Yeah, I couldn't watch horror movies when I was young. I think I've said this before. I couldn't do it. Like, I couldn't even sit through Alien before the alien had even shown up, just knowing that something was going to happen.
No, so Alien, Predator, and It were the 3 big things I was exposed to at a very young age.
Yeah,
And Alien and It terrified me because, again, I was 7 or 8. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know what? My brother made me watch when I was, I think, 3 or 4, and scared the shit out of me with.
Sallow?
The second Return of the Living Dead movie.
Yeah, that movie's terrifying. If you're
Return of the Living Dead?
Yes.
The ones that are more comedy?
Oh, wait. Actually, the Tar Man did scare the crap out of me.
Yeah, the Tar Man's fucking scary still.
No, I'm talking about the ones...
in the first Return of the Living Dead.
I'm talking about the one where it takes place in like a town, like a town. It's the one with Clu Gallagher, Clancy Brown.
Is it in a cave? What? Clancy
No.
Brown.
Is it the one that has the one point where they're throwing brains out of the back of a truck to try and lure the zombies to the electrical plant?
I think so.
That's definitely part 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's with Tarman. Tarman is fucking terrifying.
Oh, I thought Tarman was in the first one. I must be
Tarman is in
mistaken.
both. He is in the first one prominently,
okay.
and he's in the second one in the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched the second one in forever, so...
Second one was the first one I ever saw.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yep.
man, my parents showed me Night of the Living Dead when I was like 6 or 7.
And that's the thing.
so-
I saw Night of the Living Dead first, and then years later just discovered Return of the Living Dead and assumed it was the sequel to Night of the Living Dead because I was still young at the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was marketed as an unofficial sequel to Night of the Living Dead anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Dawn shortly after I saw Night of the Living, and then I saw Day a couple years later, so...
I didn't see both of those until I was older, and I was like, oh, fuck, Day of the Dead is actually my favorite horror movie. Well, until Hellraiser 2. But it's a Hellboy thing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think people just... It's an attitude that also stems from, like, a reboot. Yeah! Like,
I kind of have that a little bit too because we've had so many there's been so many bad ones.
That's a valid complaint. However, but to do this at every opportunity seems a little ridiculous. Especially when you just said, like, we weren't getting a third Hellboy movie. This is the closest thing we're going to get.
That's true.
Be happy we're getting another Hellboy movie at all.
Yeah.
And outside of that, like, Hellboy has existed pretty healthfully for quite a while since the second movie was shot, and there's so many more things to pull from at this point.
True.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff. There's a lot more lore now, even than there was 10 years ago.
Like, if you like the Hellboy comic, like, please be thankful that you got 2 movies out of a really obscure comic.
Yes.
I mean, the fact that we got 1 movie is crazy for this character. So I'm glad that they're doing it again.
Can we sprinkle in a little bit of news in this whole thing of
maybe I just want to go around
just
and
of Daniel Day
Kim
Kim,
though.
The Daniel Day Kim thing.
We'll get to that.
Well, that's yeah. We can get to that, Alan. But I want to give everybody a chance to give their thoughts on the picture. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll go first since we all know I am probably the biggest fan of those original movies. It's fine. The design's fine. I like the long hair. I like the going for a different look. I think that's the 6-shooter. I'm not positive if it is. You know what? Going for smaller, that's cool. I kind of like that it was like, well, it should match the hand. But if that's a shotgun, fine. Looks fine. Not a fan of his arm though.
It's a bit chromy.
Yeah, like
it's looking more biomechanical than like ancient. Yeah.
Like, and I like the fact that like the original has like a symbol like etched into it, and it like feels like there's something. The lore is connected to it, like, and that symbol goes into his arm, and like this is a detail from the first movie. Abe Sapien has the same symbol because guess what? They're supposed to be brothers.
Wait, what?
Or not Abe Sapien, Samael.
Okay.
Got my names confused. Samael and Hellboy are supposed to be brothers. They are siblings. Which makes it so much weirder when you see them trying to tear each other apart in the first movie. And again, if you just looking at the symbols, they're exact copies of each other. So little aspects like that, but otherwise, like, it's fine.
There really shouldn't be any weirdness because Del Toro and Mignola wrote the script together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's a good design. It's a good design for Hellboy for this movie, and for what they're going for. I get the feeling they're not going into his backstory. They're not going into the whole thing of I'm the key to hell based off of this picture. I think it's really going to be more Indiana Jones, more Monster of the Week sort of.
They did cast Grimno.
Well,
every Avengers. Yeah, that is something. Yeah.
They went too hard in the paint in the first one, for lack of a better term. Like they tried to regurgitate so much lore onto you that it was kind of hard for people who've never like even approached or knew that this was actually based on a comic to actually understand that this was coming from a source. Like,
I do agree with that. Yeah.
You already have Rasputin showing up, which is rad, but in the same sense, like then it's also like, oh no, he wants Hellboy because he can bring about the God, what were the many-angled ones or the 7 dragons? I can't remember their exact.
They were
title they used.
The old ones.
It's super Lovecraftian.
Yeah. To be fair, Rasputin is in the first comic.
The aliens,
he's in the first collected.
The aliens.
The aliens
the outer
in space?
Yeah. Because I remember.
Well,
remember the beginning. Remember the beginning. The one of the lights went through the portal and illuminated one of the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
well,
see
those are
in
those are
crystalline prison.
Yeah, those are Leviathan. And the Orguju Hot.
That's it.
Which also sounds super Cthulhu inspired.
Yes.
Oh, it totally is. It totally is.
Yeah, they get very heavy.
But even you look at Samael, you're like, oh, tentacles.
Yeah. So I'm fine with I'm fine with this design. We can talk about this. We'll talk about Broom in a separate thing. I said it before when we talked about this. I didn't want them to cast Broom. I wanted them to just ignore that character. So I'm bothered by that. But who wants to give their thoughts on the picture?
I got it. For one thing, if you glance at it, it's Ron Perlman.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it is.
Yep.
It's strikingly similar.
Yeah.
Because
I do like that.
Both Ron Perlman and David Harbour, while they're not mountains of men, they're kind of big guys. And they both fit this look very well. And for some reason, whatever reason, once you slap David Harbour in this makeup and costume, he looks frighteningly similar to Ron Perlman in the costume, which is kind of fueling my distaste for everyone going like, it's not Ron Perlman.
But it is.
Well,
you're not watching.
I think they have more. So here's the thing. I think they have more right to do that in that black and white picture. We're looking at both. The black and white picture, he doesn't look like Ron Perlman at all to me.
No, he looks it looks totally different.
He looks like Rob Zombie. That's like the first thing that's coming in my head.
But like also like why
like
I don't know, like when they make a new Batman movie every 10 or so years, do you just want the same Batman design and the same Batman actor to just shuffle on out there and just do the same thing? Like,
that's
or
fair.
do you want something different
totally
every
fair.
time so you can actually differentiate these two different kind of tellings of the story?
Yeah, I do think that it would be a lot like if somebody said, well, the Ben Affleck suit, it doesn't have the plates, and his helmet doesn't move the same way, and, he should be slim and skinny like Christian Bale was. It's like, well, that was the Christian Bale version.
Yes,
of that.
and the reason why it was slim and trimmed down was for mobility and realism.
Also, Christian Bale's a small guy.
Yeah, Christian Bale is not massive, and like Christopher Nolan wanted to tell a Batman story where it's like, this could, in theory, technically, maybe happen in our world.
Yeah.
Well, that and Christopher Nolan was telling a different version of Batman. Like,
Yes.
there are so many different variations on the Batman mythos that you can have the hulking Frank Miller version from Dark Knight Returns. You can have a lithe one that would have been, I don't know, I guess a John Byrne run. I mean, a lot of times Batman is a lithe but powerful fighter, but you can do that with a lot of different versions of a character. Well, with Hellboy, like, he's kind of a static thing in the comics. Like, he's not a very changing thing. Like, he is what he is, and that's it. And they don't really do a whole lot different with him.
Yeah, true.
With your earlier point, Connor, about people wanting, like, saying that, oh, well, I want the same thing. Like, I think some of that stems from people seeing that Ron Perlman has been very vocal and very public about the fact that he wants to continue in the role of Hellboy.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I understand. Like, Obi-Wan, fucking Ewan McGregor is basically on his knees begging Disney to throw him back in that role.
Yeah.
I doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see them not bringing him back. I think that's the difference there. So here's the thing. I think Ron Perlman didn't happen because Mike and Gamma are friends. That's the only reason that Ron didn't come back.
That whole team probably didn't want to do it without the other few.
Yeah. So he would rather start over. Like, he'd rather do a new thing with it than disrespect Guillermo's version.
And if you're trying to get a new Hellboy franchise, like, series launched, you do want a younger actor because you want longevity out of this.
True.
Yep.
True.
Can't,
want
like,
that money.
Although,
to be fair, the makeup allows you to you could have brought him back, but again, I think that the respect thing was a big part of it.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we're not going to see Tony Stark for much longer in the MCU because Robert Downey Jr. is quickly approaching 60 years old.
Oh, quick side note. I would bet almost anything in Infinity War we're going to see him and potentially somebody else get knocked off.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Or like Lost in Space or some weird shit.
Something along those lines. Or de-aged, or
fucking opens up and they somehow find a younger Tony Stark somewhere.
Yep.
Right.
Or
like
it happened. They pulled Tony Stark back in, or from the past into the future in the comics years ago.
I mean,
or Riri Williams.
Maybe. A lot of things could happen. Remember remember Guardians 2 when they're going through the space dimensions or whatever, and their like shapes are changing or whatever.
Yeah,
like their faces are
The
changing.
acid trip scene.
Like he could just he could go into that area or whatever that was, and then come out and he's still young. I don't, who knows what might happen.
Who knows?
But again, also Perlman's age is a thing.
Yeah,
it totally is.
I think it is.
He's 67. I'm not saying he's unhealthy, but he's almost 70.
Yeah,
He can still kick our asses though.
I'm not
that's
saying
true.
he couldn't kick my ass. Kicking my ass would take him 2 moves.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing as filming a movie.
yeah,
And especially under a lot of
also true.
prosthetics.
It's not the same thing as traveling across the country multiple times a year, getting put in 5 to 6 hours of makeup every day, and having to do that 3, 4 more times, depending on how long the series goes.
And they were doing those movies in Romania.
Yeah.
Which is whole other aspect to it. I understand not wanting to do it. I understand them not wanting to bring Perlman back and all that. And
I fucking love Ron Perlman, but I'm okay with this.
Yeah, this is fine. I've grown more okay with it. Definitely.
How many animated movies did they do of Hellboy?
They did 3.
Yeah, I thought it was 3 or 2. I can't remember.
There's okay. That's another possibility too. If you want to bring Ron Perlman back, there is anime movies you could do.
That's true.
There's more anime movies you could do. Look what Vin Diesel did with the fucking Riddick character in the interim between Chronicles and the last Riddick movie.
Yeah, and I mean, also, just to bring this up, since this is comics we're talking about, I don't know if there's anything like this pre-established in Hellboy canon, but the possibility of some weird dimensional hole opening up, and then Ron Perlman does show up for a scene or some bullshit like that. I guarantee you, this movie does well. They'll find some way to bring him into things, possibly.
I thought of something they could do. But it would piss off the fans.
Yeah, let's do more of that.
Yeah.
No. The thing is, they could do the... They could do, if they wanted to send Hellboy out, they could have done the Hellboy in Hell storyline, and brought him back, and when he comes back, he's David Harbour.
Yeah, but that's something they could have done.
That would still require a star that, as Connor pointed out, is potentially not on his way out, but his star is falling, for lack of a better term, and then having somebody...
Or he's in his twilight.
Yeah.
Yes, and somebody who's starting to get noticed for bigger roles. That would require probably a monumental amount of money on their part, and then would put them back into the same place that Guillermo was having problems with.
Yeah, Ron Perlman is not the guy who was in Beauty and the Beast anymore.
Yeah, true.
Ron Perlman's a pseudo-cult celebrity. People fucking love Ron Perlman.
And again, I'm convinced they'll find some way to bring him into this. They never...
Oh, yeah, guaranteed.
You never actually met Hellboy's father in those original movies. Ever.
Yeah.
You never met
that's
that
a great
character. Who's a better casting choice for that?
Yeah.
His father, if you look up Hellboy's father in the comics, he looks like Hellboy. He's slimmer, taller Hellboy. There's no reason you don't cast Ron Perlman in that role. Mm-hmm. There's no reason. And I think it'd be cool if they did that. So
they wouldn't even need to have an extended scene. Like it could even just be a flashback showing like
it could be Ron
Hellboy
Perlman
knowing,
turning
like, where he
around
came
and
from.
looking at the camera dramatically, and that would be all you need.
Or this actually,
The fucking the theater would blow up. They'd be like, ah!
I just thought of another thing they could do, and this was from the Evil Dead remake.
Oh,
That's
okay.
actually not a bad idea at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at the end, like there's a clip, and he just says groovy. He doesn't even need to change the line, because Hellboy would say groovy.
Just do the same thing, like just a black screen, and then like a cigar lights up, and it's just Ron Perlman standing there in Hellboy makeup, and he's like, "Need a light?"
And
That'd be
they're
great.
never going to follow through on what the original plan was for that.
Yeah,
For the
true.
the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's,
Yeah,
so many reasons.
I don't
for
care
that.
because I got Ash vs. Evil Dead out of it.
Yeah,
that's like
that's-
the best
that's-
thing that's
exactly.
for.
That's just something better.
Diminishing returns there, but that's my opinion. Yeah, okay. We didn't get like Alan. Your thoughts on the picture. What are your feelings about the picture? Just looking at it.
Well, it's very clear to see. You can tell by the APAC and the hair going down. That's not Ron Perlman.
Thanks.
Shit, I thought his hair in the original Hellboy was his.
Also, something from the Perlman Hellboys. His hair was always in a ponytail.
Yeah, it was always up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he looks very battle damaged.
Yeah, as you can tell by the ripped jacket.
Yeah, there's some scarring there. Yeah. Eric, any like initial thoughts when you first saw this picture that sort of come to mind?
I was honestly completely fine with it the first time I saw it. Like, I think it's going to be something very different when we see him in motion, but for these two photos to be the first things they're putting forward, I have a lot of faith that they're actually trying to do a good job with him. And I mean, I feel like they probably made some choices that were very similar to the Perlman outfit look, whatever you want to call it, to the Perlman makeup. And they knew they kind of had to do that, but I'm fine with it because, I mean, the Perlman makeup was very much in line with the comics, and really Hellboy's kind of a hard character to screw up because of Mignola's artwork.
And like, this could have gone, for anybody who really has an issue with this could have gone much farther south if you think this is bad. Do you all, let's go back a year and a half, 2 years, and remember when Jared Leto was revealed as the Joker.
Well, you just had to do that, didn't you?
I did. I went
to bring it there.
I'm
It's
sorry.
an apt
I went
point.
with the fucking nuclear option.
Okay.
I literally watched yesterday a clip from I'm Heath Ledger where it's him crafting the Joker.
All right.
God
Okay.
damn it.
So let's go into casting stuff because Alan brought that up, and we'll go piece by piece. First big one that they announced after David Harbour was Mila Jovovich. I'm in.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that, and I'm so fucking in.
Like,
Yeah, she's
Holy
playing Liz?
shit.
I hate those Resident Evil movies, but no, she's playing Nimue the Blood Queen, which is she's probably Elizabeth Bathory, their version of Elizabeth Bathory.
Okay.
Also,
It's-
Mila Jovovich is the best thing about those wretched movies.
Yeah, she is.
She's
the best.
awesome in everything she does, except Ultraviolet. That movie is a crime against humanity.
Yeah. But her is like
Hot
an
dog
ancient
shit.
Russian vampire. I'm like, I believe it.
Fuck
Personally,
yes.
because she's Russian.
Also, I want to see her in more things that aren't Resident Evil. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, she's good. I'm in. They haven't cast Liz, which I'm kind of proud of them for that. But they did cast Professor Broom. I'm not a fan of this.
Ian McShane.
I love the actor.
Who was it?
Ian
I don't
McShane.
think he's right for Broom.
Okay.
Well, he
and
can't
that's
beat
not-
John
I
Hurt,
don't
who
want-
basically just made the role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the role was nothing in the comic. Like he's there for 2 pages and then he's dead.
And then he would be in flashback
Also, it's
stories
kind of
here and
like
there.
it is kind of like going from. Not this is bad because I like both choices. It is like going from Michael Caine to Jeremy Irons, and Michael Caine is this very nurturing kind of like father figure Batman, and then you get to Jeremy Irons, and he's this fucking sassy, attitude-filled, will you just fucking get laid, Bruce kind of guy.
I feel like the difference there is Alfred has been so many different things to so many different people So Michael Caine is not Alfred Goff in any way. They are as far apart from each other as Michael Caine and Jeremy Irons are. So I was more okay with that. But you're right, like McShane, I just don't...
It's, when you think of, like, who can we do that is comparable to John Hurt, Ian McShane is the bottom of that list.
Yeah. I mean, like, talent-wise, I'm in. But
talent-wise, Ian McShane fucking rules.
Yeah, but I'm just like... Again, like, when they initially announced this, I said don't do Broom. Don't. Retire that character.
Yeah, one more thing about Ian McShane. I think Ian McShane is a better bad guy anyway, so...
Yeah.
Well,
he looks like someone who just conveys evil better.
Did any of you watch American Gods at all?
Not yet, and it's on my list.
He's good in it.
He's good in that, but I mean, he's not who I want to have as the nurturing father figure for this demon child.
Yeah. And then
what was that movie?
Why not fucking god damn it.
David Bradley?
Mm-hmm.
No. Why is...
Oh, he'd be great.
He would be.
Like, if you're going for the original one.
Why is my brain farting? He was in the opening few minutes of Star Wars 7. He gets killed. Fuck. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
This is pissing me the fuck off.
Max von Sydow.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Max von Sydow would be a great choice. But once again... As Arlen said, like it's such a small role. Like, I mean, obviously they're going to make him bigger in the movie. But
the fact that in episode 7 he's in there for about 90 seconds, then Kylo Ren just stabs him.
No, he doesn't just stab him; he cuts his fucking head off.
He just fucking murders the shit out of him.
Someone who he knew.
Yeah. And Max
von Sydow's fucking German.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's like Swedish.
Is he Swedish? I think he was German.
Yeah, he's like because he was in what's it called? The movie where the guy plays chess with death, or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's a popular Swedish film. But I'm fine. I guess I'm fine with it. Again, I'm still against them even recasting Professor Broom because it's like, why even do that? You're just, I don't get it.
Like, then again, at the same token, like, why use someone who's a name at all?
Yeah.
If his role is that small, like, why? Just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe find some older actor who's in his, like, fucking... Not who's about to die, obviously, but someone who's like, hey, you can do this properly, and maybe get you some more work before your career's over.
And I think Alan threw out a perfect suggestion. David Bradley. He's not as well known. There's very specific audiences that know him very well. But everybody else is kind of like, maybe they saw a Harry Potter movie, and maybe they recognize him from it.
Or The Strain.
Or you're a Doctor Who fan and you know exactly who he is. So maybe, but yeah.
Well, The Strain mainly because John Hurt was the original guy. Or the
no
original
fucking
character.
way.
Yeah.
I mean, I completely believe
it. Del Toro passed, or no, Del Toro or Carlton Cuse passed.
I could see Colin Crews doing that.
Okay, so two minor castings. I don't know these people, but Sasha Lane, I don't recognize the name, and Penelope Mitchell, and they're playing Alice Monaghan and Ganita, respectively. I don't know those characters. I don't know these actresses, so I'm just gonna assume that they'll be good, whatever those roles are.
Wait, you said Sasha Lane?
Sasha Lane.
She is from American Honey. I can tell you that right now just by looking at her, and that was something that got a lot of traction last year.
Okay. Oh, okay. So yeah, this would be interesting.
Wondering if the Alice character that you mentioned, if that's there's a blonde woman in the BPRD comics, and she plays a pretty big role, and she's actually pretty good friends with Hellboy, so I'm wondering if that might be who her character is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
And who's the other one?
Penelope Mitchell, she's been in a lot of vampire stuff, actually. She was in Vampire Diaries, and she was in Hemlock Grove, so she's been in a lot of, like, teen-ish aimed stuff.
Oh, yeah,
mediocre vampire stuff.
She is completely unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, so very unknown. I'm just going to go in assuming that they'll do a good job. So let's go to the one that had a little bit of controversy for a little while, and that's the character of Ben Damio. Dameo. This is the one where I do wish Andy was here, because he would tell us exactly how to say it. But he was at one point played by Ed Skrein. Skrein.
What's my
Ajax.
And
Ajax in Deadpool.
Yeah, and the original, what the fuck's his name? Daenerys' boy toy. The original actor.
Who is conspicuously absent from season 7.
Yeah. But yeah,
Daria.
And he gave the role up because of all the controversy, which I'll just get pat on the back right now.
Yeah.
Well, people are trying
Good
to
on you.
take that away from him.
What? How?
Because that he wanted to get some good public PR stuff out
Oh, okay. And if any of us who are listening to this right now, eat shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made the right choice in
seriously.
the end.
I'd like to believe he made this choice and wasn't pressured into it, or it's not a non-altruistic move.
Even if it's not altruistic, in the end, he made the right choice.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the right decision regardless of his motivations or not. If he doesn't do it for some good press, it is fucking good press, and he's a celebrity, an actor. He wants good press.
Good point.
Go away.
Good point. Yeah. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, bad press? Let me just soak this up. Who says that?
And also,
People on
he
YouTube.
might have made a difference. Like, he might have made a...
Yeah.
People who have nothing better to do with their time.
Again, in the end, he might have done something really good with that. Like, that might have
And also,
actually
like,
made a
he
difference.
is not... Ed Skrein is not someone who's in demand. Because
Right.
the only two things you can come up with that you've seen him in are Game of Thrones and Deadpool. That's really it.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I'm sure
obviously
it's
he
'cause
has
they
a
got him
longer
for-
body of work, but that's the only two things where people go, oh, I know him from...
I'm excited
Well,
for the
they-
guy that ultimately got the role.
They got him
Yeah.
for a bargain. Is guaranteed why they took him as opposed to
So it's not like
yeah.
he's, you know... It's not like he's, you know, someone who can be like, oh, I'm so famous I can pass this role up and, you know, not suffer any consequences for it. Like, I'm sure he's missing out on a fat payday.
But now he's known as the guy with integrity, which does
Yeah,
mean
exactly.
something.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he has more stuff lined up because of that.
Yeah.
So that's good. And, like, I agree with Alan. I've only seen Daniel Day Kim in a couple things. Never really watched Lost. But
He
every
was
single time
great in all the Saints Row games.
I believe it. Every time I've seen him in anything,
Fucking Johnny
he's
Gat.
yeah, he's good. I believe 100% he'll be good in the role. I am glad that they didn't try to redo Abe Sapien. I think they knew that Shape of Water was coming out.
I didn't even think about that.
They're friends with Gammo, so they know, like, we're not going to step on Gammo's movie, are we? I'm not gonna do that, you know.
Why would you want to step on Guillermo's BioShock movie?
Yeah. So yeah, that didn't happen. I do think that they...
That's not a joke anyway, and that has me legitimately excited, because when I first saw that trailer, I was like, oh my god, what is this? I got super excited.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do think that they could go for the ghost guy or whatever. That dude.
Johann
Kraus.
Yeah, they could go for him again. But in the
Also,
next one...
You can give me the weird goggled fucking Sandman blade spinny dude again. I don't care.
Yeah. Like,
Put Ray Park in a costume.
Well, I'm curious with Daniel Day Kim's character, Benjamin Daimo, however you pronounce it. If how they're going to play that off, because I mean, you obviously know what happens, Arlen. I don't know if anybody else who's on the show tonight knows.
I don't.
Okay, yeah.
Hellboy is not something I'm an expert on. I'm not even.
You should check out the BPRD comics, but that's where he made his.
And I've only actually read like the initial run of Mike Mignola's stuff. So
years after getting back into comics, I'm only now like outside of Fables. I'm only now breaking out of like the Marvel and DC stuff.
Okay.
So.
Well, his character in the comics, I can't remember the exact reason. I need to reread the BPRD Plague of Frog storyline, but he was cursed somehow. He was near death, and he was cursed, and it brought him back to life, but he also turns into this horrible demon-like creature.
Oh, yeah.
And ends up wrecking shop at one point in the storyline.
So he's detriment?
What's no, because he doesn't really have control over it when he turned into this creature. So I'm curious if he's going to end up being the villain, or at least the major protagonist, or some sort of point of conflict for the movie.
That would be
his issue.
I don't know if that'll be. I feel like that's something they could play in later on, especially if, like we said, we don't, as far as we can tell, they're not going into Hellboy's lore in this movie, and it is sort of like a one-off adventure. Again, like that's the thing that's actually selling me on this movie, is it's a one-off adventure. It doesn't have anything to do with his lore or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But if they do go into his lore more in later movies, Hellboy knowing that he is the key to the apocalypse, and that sort of storyline that you're describing, those two things happening at the same time, and these two characters, we don't know what their relationship is going to be in this film. And I don't actually know what their relationship is in the books, if they're like really good friends, or if they're kind of like, on the edge.
His character comes in, and because in the comics at one point Hellboy leaves the BPRD, so this guy comes in as kind of a stand-in to be a leadership role for them, and he's very militarized, which is very different than kind of the carefree way that they were going about things in the past, for lack of a better term. Okay. So that's why I'm curious to see if they're going to make him an antagonist of some sort, or at least his issue or his curse, whatever you want to call it, be a bigger point of contention for the bigger storyline. I mean, I hope they don't write him out.
That's interesting because knowing him as Johnny Gat, where he has like perfect comedic timing, I kind of want to see him do something a little different.
Yeah. Like,
I wish I was more familiar with his larger body of work, but as a big gamer, I'm like, holy shit, Johnny Gat's in a fucking Hellboy movie?
Yeah. I'd be interested, because, so based off what you're saying, this story feels like we're going to get kind of like a buddy cop thing. Like, the freewheeling guy who's like, who doesn't care about the rules, and then Ben DeMaio, who's like the we must do things by the book character. He's going to be he's the
fucking
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover, like, God damn it, Hellboy!
Yeah, well, that's the thing I think that'll make it interesting, is because
I want your badge.
Hellboy and him didn't really have any communication with each other, from what I've read, because the Hellboy comic went in a very different direction, and BPRD was more of a straight-on comic series, for lack of a better term. Like, it went issue by issue, and it had a continuing storyline, larger story arcs, while Hellboy has always been kind of a, hey, I want to tell this cool story, let's see what artist I can get for it.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, huh.
So I think it's going to be a melding of the two series in some way or another.
Yeah, because
I do get the feeling that there might be a larger arc there, where that curse storyline might play into them like becoming friends. Like that's how they get over their initial like roughness with each other and like tension that they might have from having two different styles, and so that'd be interesting.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping they don't just get rid of him after the first movie, because, I mean, I would love to see Daniel Day Kim in multiple Hellboy movies.
Right, he doesn't get moved to Alaska in the second movie.
He's also an ethnic actor in a potentially lead role, so of course they'll kill him off and replace him.
Yeah, that's good point.
Yeah. But they'll bring back Myers from
the Walking
Dead
Dead problem.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, we have two black guys occupying the same space. We can't have this.
Okay, every single time we talk about Walking Dead, I get sad.
Same.
So,
I brought this up at work yesterday, and someone was like, holy shit, you're right!
Well, I guess that it would be black men, not women, because I was going to say, I mean, if it's just black actors, and you've also got Michonne, and then the other two guys, whoever.
Yeah, no, the black women are always safe. It's, for some reason, it's like, hey, hi, T-Dog. Oh, here's Tyrese. And all of a sudden, one of you's gotta go.
T-Dog was just a stand-in for Tyrese, but regardless.
Okay.
I got jokes.
Hellboy.
Yeah, looks good. The biggest actor on the whole thing is Mila Jovovich. So,
fine.
I can't wait.
David Harbour is going to have a very nice career ahead of him, because Stranger Things, I think, has done a lot for a lot of people. Look at that. Look at the kid from It.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ben Wolfhard.
He was
As long as the
basically the
second
star
season-
of the children cast too. Like he was the one who got the most dialogue and got to chew up the most scenery.
As long as the second season doesn't shit the bed, I can see Hellboy doing really well because people who like Stranger Things will go and see Hellboy.
Stranger Things put Winona Ryder back into the American consciousness again.
Yeah.
She still looks great.
True. Yeah.
Winona Ryder is still one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. I love her to pieces, and I don't care if she's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. She looks like a cat who got lost, but whatever.
Yeah. I really do hope David Harbour does have a long-standing career. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, suddenly he's back in the James Bond movies again.
Dude,
because of...
please. No, my dream role for David Harbour right now is fucking Jonah Hex. Please, someone make him Jonah.
Oh my god.
Oh, Warner Brothers.
I feel like that
is
might be
not
too
going-
similar, though. Like, I feel like that would be... Yeah, I don't think that'll happen, but I would like that, too.
It's a cool idea that will never happen.
Oh,
But,
they
like,
poison the well with that one.
Yeah, I'm glad that... I'm glad
Jonah
though
Hex,
he won't be
Jonah
like...
Hex has been relegated to the CW.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad he won't be like weird villain number 2 anymore. Like he won't be the bad guy in Liam Neeson movie where what was the one where he plays like the private detective.
He also
And
won't
he's
be
like
this
a serial
guy.
killer.
Hang on, I got it. Hang on. What if Superman came down in the White House and kidnapped the president?
I actually like
Hey, David,
I
that
know
was
what you
David
mean.
Harbour?
Yeah, that was David Harbour.
Man, that movie was so bad I forgot he was even in it.
Yeah, he's had a lot of weird roles. But if you're wondering what I meant by James Bond, he is the guy who's above Felix Leiter in the Casino Royale verse. So that's
I don't even know who that is.
Felix Leiter is the CIA guy in the James Bond world. So yeah, that
Dude, Quantum of Solace happened, and like it's almost like I slept for the rest of the Craig universe.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, how dare you?
No, like Quantum of Solace is a bad film.
Quantum of okay, just real quick. I went to see Quantum of Solace. I was like, fuck yeah, fucking new James Bond. I haven't seen James Bond in theaters in years because I hadn't seen Casino Royale in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
I go to it. Within 35 minutes, I am hardcore asleep in a movie theater.
Here's the thing.
Gun violence and explosions.
You're not the first person who said that to me.
Oh, no.
I went with my younger brother. He fell asleep right next to me.
Oh, my
and
God.
I kept on nudging him awake.
Fuck out. I've only fallen asleep in like 3 movies, and it was because I went to see them at like 1 in the morning.
So yeah, that's not surprising to me. But yeah, I'm glad he won't be resorted to other CIA guy who doesn't like James Bond, or again, guy who slices up mobsters' wives or whatever. Like that's not his role anymore.
Or a guy who thinks Superman is American terrorism.
Right.
So he was basically the Caucasian version of who's the Asian actor who was in every like 80s film who was just that one bad guy who had the male pattern baldness but the long hair.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
He was
oh my
the guy
God. He's
in
in
Lethal
fucking
Weapon.
Die Hard.
Yeah, he was the guy in Lethal Weapon who was grabbing the that was Die Hard where he's grabbing the Snickers or whatever it was.
Yeah. And he's in like Black Rain and like what's the other one that he's in? He's in the John Carpenter one.
We'll see David Harbour turn into guy with scars, Irish.
He was the head of the evil street gang in Big Trouble in Little China.
With like the Uzi or whatever. Yeah. Like that was that. He's not
Same
that
guy in Die Hard.
Yep.
He also has an Uzi in Die Hard, I'm pretty sure.
He's the one who gets choked out by Mel Gibson's legs in Lethal Weapon.
He's the same guy in all 3 movies, in case you didn't know.
Yeah,
so that's
he just dies and comes back and just changes identity.
Quick side story about him. I'd read an article that was talking about like how he's actually a super nice guy. Like somebody had seen him at I think the bookstore they worked at. And they went up to him and said, hi, I love you and your roles, whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have anything I could give you the autograph. Next day when the guy came into work, the dude had come back and dropped off like 10 headshots, all autographed.
Holy
and was
shit.
just to give them out to people. I don't know how true that could be, but it sounds like something that dude would be if he loves the fact that he's just that Asian extra.
That dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a shame that wrestlers of that caliber can't get that kind of appreciation. You walk by Virgo to fucking autograph booth, you're like, ha ha, fuck you, just walk away.
Oh, also, David Harbour was in Equalizer. He is a local Boston gangster guy.
Oh,
He's
man,
been.
okay.
Oh, I
So
forgot
he really
about that.
is okay. So
He-
he really has been a bunch of that guys.
Yeah, he's in Black Mass as John Morris. Oh God, I remember Black Mass now. I don't want to. But
I haven't seen Black Mass yet, so
A Walk Among the Tombstones. That's the Liam Neeson movie I'm talking about.
that's the Liam Neeson January action geriatric movie.
Here's the thing, that's actually a good movie, but
It's the January Jerry action movie. That's the what we're supposed to call
God
it.
damn it.
Oh, no.
But,
you're fired.
But no, like he's in the Green Hornet as Scanlon.
Oh my God, he is.
He's been in 2 Law and Order Criminal Intent movie episodes. 2, count them, 2.
Wait, has
Wesley-
different people with the same guy?
Different guys.
Oh no.
I wonder if he was a villain in both of them.
No.
No, he's been in Law and Order 4 times. 4 times as different people. Oh my God, yeah.
One of those times he had to be the guy that you thought was
No,
the main bad
okay,
guy.
I was wrong. 5 times. Count him. 5 times.
Okay, this is turning.
Hold on, hang on. Was he also in all 3 versions of CSI as different characters?
Let me see.
Because
He wasn't in CSI,
That's TV death.
That's like getting an ergot, except in bad roles.
but he was also in, but he was also in the hit show The Unit.
I don't even know
The
what it is.
Unit. And he was also in Lie to Me, which is actually not a bad show. But if, he was in a lot of those like weird. Oh God,
He's
He
been
was in
a
Awake.
working actor.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way, a working actor.
But you know what,
played Dracula.
After what?
He played Dracula.
I'm sorry.
He played Dracula.
No, okay, so I don't know if anybody's ever heard of the show Awake.
What?
Awake, or no, it's a movie. Oh, it's a Hayden Christensen movie
Oh no.
called Awake.
No,
Oh,
I know what this is.
no.
This is post Star Wars, and people were like, "Holy shit, Hayden Christensen's trying to be an actor."
I
So
thought
he's
that
like
was
is he
Shattered
like
Glass.
a dream sequence? Like there's a dream sequence where Dracula shows up, or something like that.
I'm envisioning him as the sheriff from Stranger Things, but dressed up in a bad Dracula costume. Just got like 5 o'clock
Holy
shadow.
But aside from a couple movies that are like not bad, like
And-
he's in Brokeback.
And Batman
remember
also
what it
killed him
was.
as Dracula and just punched him in dust.
God. He didn't kill him technically.
That joke is only relevant if you're in the Facebook Phantom Zone group.
Yep, you should be there. Also, he's a dock worker in War of the Worlds. So
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Okay, we're getting close to full show length size.
I mean, we're basically a full show, but
Yeah,
still,
it
like,
doesn't matter at this point.
again,
Besides,
we're glad
this
that
is
David
what-
Harbour is doing
This is
better.
what you did to us during the video game hour episode where you consistently brought up Tony J's extensive body of work when the man was like 96 years old when he died.
I mean,
and he worked until he died.
Oh, is that the one about Nosgoth and all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about Legacy of Kain, and
Yeah,
Alan
yeah.
was like blown away and like totally. He's like, "Holy shit, Tony J's
No,
been in
I was blown
everything."
away by
I
both
just
Tony
listened to that
J
episode a couple days ago.
and what's the other guy? Michael something?
Michael Bell,
Michael
Bell,
Bell.
Simon Pegg, and Tony J have all been around for fucking ever, and people don't realize it.
oh, guys, I saved the best for last. You want to know what show he was also in?
Oh boy, hit us.
He was in my favorite show, Banshee, as the character of Robert Dalton. I don't remember who that character is.
I don't even know what that show is.
Oh, you've never heard of Banshee?
I've heard the
God.
name, but no.
You should watch Banshee. This is my thing. I tell everybody they need to watch Banshee, and nobody listens to me.
You tell me to watch Banshee because that's where Ward from fucking Iron Fist is from.
Ward,
But like,
Pops.
I'm really like, I'm afraid to go into anything with Ward and just be like, God, you're fucking pathetic.
No, he plays like
A Jack dude.
recovers like a recovering neo-Nazi or whatever, who's like recovering from racism, and he's pretty great in the
I
show.
can look at him now. I look at him and just imagining him in my head going like, God, I'm such a sad human being, and now I have a gun.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Pretty close. Yeah.
No,
But
the
yeah.
premise sounds interesting.
Now, Banshee's a weird show. It's about a guy who pretends to be a cop. So watch that.
I still like that Ward got a mention in Defenders.
Eric, I thought you were talking about Iron Fist for a second. The character.
No. No.
Hey, where's Ward? Not in this fucking show, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's how they handle it.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm happy for David Harbour, and I'm glad he's doing big things.
Yeah. He's going to be in a lot of stuff
I'm
now.
I'm getting more Hellboy in any fact or fashion. Like, it's
True.
fine. I'm glad I get things I like.
That's the thing. I don't understand how people can be bitching about getting not the most obscure, but one of the more obscure corners of the world of comics getting put up on the big screen.
Like, okay, we're getting a third Hellboy movie, and the Valiant comic universe is like, we're trying to get there. Like,
yeah, I mean,
just listen to what you fucking said. We're getting a third Hellboy movie. Like, what bizarro planet are we on that this is actually happening?
Yeah, and I mean,
guys,
as far as we can tell,
Avengers movie. You realize what planet we're on? Like,
that's true.
I get it. I get it now.
Grown up geek. It's the best.
I get it, but
we also got Three Blades.
Marvel and DC are a very safe bet. Dark Horse is not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the thing about this. There have been more Hellboy movies than Spawn movies, so that's a thing.
No, there's a reason.
and if you went back to 1999, or no, not 1999, let's say 1996, and I told you there would be 3 Hellboy movies by 2019 and maybe 2 Spawn movies, you would have punched me in the face.
Especially after the Spawn comment.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it's more fun if you go back in time and tell them, like, hey, remember that Spawn movie? And they'd be like, yeah, but like, the second one never comes out.
This reminds me of that Patton Oswalt bit where he goes back in time about telling his younger self about life in 2000 or post 2009 or post Obama.
Like, you can fit it on something that fits in your palm.
And but who's the president? A cool black guy named Barack Hussein Obama.
God damn it.
And now we may even get that second Spawn movie.
No, we won't. No, we won't. Todd McFarlane is going to screw that up somehow. It could. It could be a day away from being released, and he would say something that would piss off the wrong person.
You're telling me that Todd McFarlane can somehow screw this up after 20 years of screwing this up?
Yeah. Well, you know, he's a man of his word.
We're getting. I got filmed with my own fucking action figures.
The guy who went into an interview about Spawn and just gave everybody the pitch that he gave to get the movie made in the first place. That guy.
He put a fucking countdown on his Facebook page. He put a fucking website up, and he's like, "Hey, big announcement concerning the Spawn movie." And the announcement was, "There's a Spawn movie."
Yeah. The only thing that was news was Blumhouse was involved, which is great.
Damn you, fucking Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
Someone just needs to knock him out with his own baseballs.
Our point is that, like, please just stop all the anger towards these. Like, just be happy with what we're getting. Now, I'm not saying shut up and take, like, you know, a fucking shovel full of shit. I'm saying, like, stop selling shit out to, like, you know, stop setting shit adrift before we even see this put to film. It's a thing.
I agree.
Right, like, okay, I understand people have a problem with the new Ghostbusters. But, like, the fact that people were just like, nah, fuck this entire production from the moment it was announced.
Yeah, those are all bad people. Like, the people who saw the movie and said, I didn't like it, that's different.
That's totally different.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it went quickly from, oh, hey, there's a lot of really cool, for lack of a better term, nerd interest films coming out. Like, oh, cool, you know, there's this, that, and the other thing. And then the production really started up, and then all of the news about these things continued to come out more and more and more. Because I feel like out of all of the films that I follow and I'm interested in, like, it seems like comic book related stuff gets the hardest and harshest critics and the most leaks out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Star Wars had less leaks than I think some of the Avengers movies have.
True. Yeah, and
Well,
I mean,
most of that is Tom Holland's fault.
the bright side of this is if this movie does well, I think the more horror-leaning comic book stuff might get done more.
Yeah, maybe we'll get more Spawn movies. Maybe actually, because I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I don't want to not see a Spawn movie. I just think Todd McFarlane's full of shit. Spawn is cool as fuck.
And I'd like a 30 Days of Night movie that isn't terrible, then made by Sci-Fi.
I don't hate 30 Days of
I
Night.
don't-
I like
yeah,
the
I don't
first. No,
hate it.
I'm talking about 30 Days of Night, Dark Shadows, or no, what is it called?
I didn't even know that.
You've
was a
never
thing.
seen this? So
No.
they made a sequel direct to Sci-Fi,
No.
produced
Oh,
by
no,
Sci-Fi.
Nope. La 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 la. Fingers and ears.
I love that
fingers
first
and
movie.
ears.
I
Yeah, that first
love
movie's
that
great.
first movie.
Okay, we're on the same page then.
They made a sequel. None of the same actors.
Of course not.
Not even the same director. The effects are. They're not
Sci-fi,
even-
sci-fi channel movie.
It's
Yep.
Something
And
else.
The
Speaking of
effects are the effects are Mega Boa versus Super Constrictor.
yeah.
Is that a sci-fi movie? I don't know. It could be.
It probably.
It probably is. If
Speaking
it's
of
not,
other
it will
things
be.
sci-fi ruined, Red Faction.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Thanks, Alan. Now I want to punch you in the throat.
Ugh. But if this leads to more occulty stuff, more like
Yes, if it
demons
leads,
and
if it leads
monster
to
stuff,
more, I'm going to bring up it again, not for the reason people are thinking. It just cracked $317 million or $370 million. I can't remember.
Wow.
It's an obnoxious number for a rated R movie, for a horror movie that opened in September.
yes,
This is a mold-breaking
insane.
opening because the general consensus is rated R movies don't sell. We can't get teenagers in the fucking theater. Guess what? You're wrong.
yeah. This movie just came that close to breaking
This movie
the record held
fucking-
by Deadpool.
Barreled through the goddamn door. So if this, and like we talked about with Logan, with rated R comic book material, if this opens the door for more horror-related comic book properties to see the light of day in either TV, like premium TV like HBO, Netflix, fucking Showtime, or major theatrical releases, cool. Please
Well,
give
hey,
me.
we've got Damon Lindelof doing Watchmen.
That's bizarre to me. It really is.
I guess.
No,
But
give
no,
me
like-
give me a fucking torso movie. Give me a From Hell movie that isn't butchered from start to finish.
Oh,
I just want to see a From Hell movie that's done well, just so it pisses off Alan Moore.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I want to see. I want to
think-
see a From Hell movie done so well. He just sits there in his fucking castle in Transylvania and just stews.
As he gently talks to his snake wife.
As he just sits there and just like taps his fingers together, like stroking his beard. He's like, "What can I do?"
he curses the executive or something.
He's too busy mining silver to make more rings.
Oh, that would. Come on, he doesn't mind silver himself. He has his fucking manslaves do that for him.
Oh no! He needs to do it because he needs that anger to channel into curses. So
He flies down his stone spiral staircase with a fucking cloak like that Snow White gif of the evil queen. Just picks up his pickaxe and he's like, "Fucking DC, fucking did it again."
Fuck
Guys,
you, Jim Lee.
Hey guys, I love Alan Moore to death, but he's a crazy
Yeah.
bird,
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
and he's really fun to
Yeah.
make fun of. And it's
Yeah.
this character that we have created for him is far more amusing than he is in real life. So, actually, the fact that he isn't like this in real life is probably largely contested.
Well, on a slightly divergent topic, surprise, from what you were saying, Connor, about how hoping that with it doing as well, and maybe this will open the doors to more horror themed things if Hellboy does well. I would hope that might even then make some executives want to try some things that are even more experimental, like take any of Grant Morrison's stuff. And I'm not saying do the Invisibles or Doom Patrol, but just try some of his more out there storylines that could potentially.
Or hey, maybe, just maybe, a fucking Sandman movie will actually materialize.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No, that's too much.
Yeah, there's certain things that are never going to happen, or they'll happen on TV.
Okay, let me rephrase. Maybe a Sandman TV show.
Yeah,
I feel like Sandman works better in prose. Honestly, I can't see it being adapted to live action in any way, shape, or form and doing it justice.
It's such a literary story.
Yeah,
like
it's like when you adapt Watchmen and you're like, why is all this action sequences? I'm like, because Watchmen in its own form is kind of wordy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Stuff is from hell when they turned it into an action whodunit, and it really bothered me.
Connor, what were your words when we were talking about Watchmen? And
I think exactly. I said, like, it's extremely talky.
Yeah, because I kept bringing up that the under the hood part segments were it just felt like reading a prose novel.
Under the Hood and Tales from the Black Freighter are essential to the reading material. Not really. I wouldn't say essential, but like if you read them, you're gonna get more out of the story.
Well, it's just it's great flavor text that happens to be its own mini-series within a mini-series. And
Tales from the Black Freighter is like a weird metaphorical, like, kind of prediction of how the story is going to end anyway.
Yeah.
Sort of. I know Watchmen from start to finish, but, like, I couldn't tell you the details of Tales from the Black Freighter unless I went back and reread it or rewatched it, because it's super obtuse.
Yeah.
It's all narration, it's weird as shit.
Almost like it was written by Alan Moore.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. This will be interesting. Definitely into this movie, I guess. And we are way longer than we intended to go.
Yeah, that's what we do. Especially when we start having fun, like we have been for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially when I've been locked in my work all day, which is basically, I love my job, but it's a stone mausoleum that has no windows.
You're very punchy.
It's an old building that has no cell reception and no windows. Okay.
So you're at Alan Moore's house.
Yes, I actually mine his silver. He's actually. I can hear him coming down the stairs now with his torch in hand. He's gonna whip the shit out of me in about 5 minutes.
This is very disappointing.
What are you doing on the computer again? Can we just do an entire episode to part
Possibly.
Oh my God, yes. This is all actually kind of come in handy, that kind of well-timed theme-wise, because I don't know about the rest of you, but if fucking November is pre-Christmas and September is pre-Halloween,
yeah.
So all this chit-chat is kind of nice for our, I'm sure we're going to launch into a nice horror-themed everything going forward, so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially in October, I kind of want to talk about what is it? Just a tease for something. I want to talk about like horrifying comic book deaths.
Oh God!
Just let's run straight into the fucking Halloween shit.
You mean what happened to Kyle Rayner's girlfriend?
Okay, we're not going to do that. I'm talking more some horror related stuff. Anyway, off topic. But yeah, I think we can wrap up. I think we're done.
Yeah.
It has been a fun episode. I'm Connor McGraw. You can follow me on Twitter. I still don't tweet. Actually, sometimes, like a few days ago, I tweeted crazy conservatives and called them fucking potatoes because they think Eminem is
I laughed at that tweet.
Because they think that Eminem is a fringe act who doesn't have a lot of fans.
And they said that rap is only done by Latinos and African Americans.
Well, no, they said that African Americans and Hispanics only make music about violence, and that white people only make music about trucks.
Yeah. Oh God.
No, wait, let me see. Wait, yeah, I did the math. Yeah, it checks out. It checks out. Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Every time I turn the radio on, it's just songs about trucks.
Ugh.
And
okay.
This show has let me let out my inner demons.
Okay, you can follow me. I'm Arlen Haro, and that's at AA Haro on Twitter. Just follow. You will be entertained. Trust me.
Yeah, Arlen talks to himself. It's really entertaining.
Yeah.
Well, he's talking to someone, but we never knew who that person is.
Maybe he's talking to Alan Moore.
Possibly.
Speaking
I
of
don't
Alan,
know.
Yeah, I'm Alan. I'm the good Alan, not the bad
Yeah,
Alan.
me.
Right.
You can
But
follow me
eventually...
you can follow me at the Alan Muir.
Yep.
You can find Video Game Hour on iTunes and losthorror.wordpress.com.
Dark Souls lore episode. Good shit.
Yeah, it should be up midweek through
Good.
the Los Harrows theme week this month.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel happy with last week's Photoshop done by Hunter, who is not here right now.
I'm just a fucking meme now for show art, and it's fine with me. It's totally fine.
I was like, Hunter, what the fuck happened to the left side of his head?
I'm just gonna start doing a photo album of all just different faces y'all can use for the fuck you want.
Just send it
I
to
don't
Hunter.
care for what show.
I am the immortal Iron Fist.
I am Randy Dan. Now get out of my store.
I'm Eric Fedorchuk. You can find me floating around the Phantom Zone, and I'm starting up a band. We're the Eric and the Swamp Things, and we're the preeminent band that covers the theme to the Swamp Thing cartoon. And that's all we cover at all times.
I have to play triangle on that band.
Well, we fight everything nasty, so you can
Harlan
join
just
us.
walks up the end of every song, just like looks at the crowd, smacks a triangle, and just like stomps off to the left.
We just play the same song over and over and over again.
Swamp Thing. God damn it.
What a fucking god-awful show. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Fuck
Bye.
Apocalypse.